I am obviously not one of the 97%. Hello, Igho Diana here. Welcome back to Igho Initiative, where we create self-care systems to help us live our best lives and support our communities without sacrificing our health. If this is your first time on my channel, I am a poet, community educator, and wellness consultant, and so many other titles, but essentially I am a living example and proof of what it's like to prioritize your wellness and care for your community or loved ones without sacrificing your health. And today I'm going to be addressing a highly requested topic on how exactly I plan my whole life as someone who does all of the things. So let's get into it. First things first, did you know that 97% of people do not plan their lives? Now, I am obviously not one of the 97%. I'm of the 3%. It always baffles my mind. And one of the things that I come across with people in terms of their wellness journey is being consistent with it, and then just having to deal with the day-to-day stressors of life and managing everything. It always seems like a lot for people to have to do. The thing about planning is that you are not aware of your capacity. You're not aware of when you are taking on too much and you start to miss things. Yes, you can be one of those people who's just like, I know what I need to do on a day-to-day basis. I have a good memory, but you start to miss things and things start to pile up on each other, and that's how you start to feel overwhelmed and stressed and eventually burnt out. And we don't want that in this community. We don't want to be sacrificing our health just to do the things that we love or show up for the people that we love. And so let's talk a little bit about what it's like to change that. Now, I know if planning is not something that you are used to, it can seem like another task that you have to do, another additional thing that you have to figure out. And so I'm here to demystify the planning process and here to show you how easy it can be to get into the routine of planning. I'm going to show you exactly how I plan, which includes when I plan, what I use, and how I make it more engaging and fun for myself, because I'm a creative person. I need to be engaged in what I'm doing, and how planning in general just makes my life so much easier. And I'm sure it's going to make your life easier too. So before we hop into it, I want to share with you 4 quick benefits of planning. There's so many more, but these are just the main things that have come up consistently for me and why I'm so grateful to be able to plan my life in the way that I do. The first thing is that planning offers you a clear outline of your task ahead of time. You know what to do and when you want to do it. It's very clear. You are aware of what is coming up in the week, in your month, in your day, so that you realize what you need to get done, which leads into my next point. The next benefit is that you are always prepared and therefore confident. So this video, for example, even though I'm great at planning, I had to plan out what this video content would look like and what this recording process would look like. Otherwise I'd be overwhelmed, I'd be confused. So I have an outline of the things that I wanted to say to you, the benefits that I wanted to share with you, and so I'm a lot more confident in speaking to you and sharing this video because I planned it out. I planned out a whole outline of how I wanted this video to go, and that's exactly how planning for your entire life, for your day-to-day tasks, makes you become more confident. Because when you are not prepared, then that's when you start to get nervous about what am I going to say, what am I going to do, what if somebody asks me questions, and that's where things get a little bit rocky. And so that is how planning can be beneficial for you. It helps you be prepared and confident in what it is that you have to do. The next benefit is that it frees up time. I know that when you start planning, if planning is not your thing, it can seem like another thing that you have to do, another task that you have to add to your list, but it actually, in a way, it frees up time for you in terms of this whole little panorama that we got going on. 2020 taught us the importance of slowing down. Also, that time is highly valuable, and so we've had to be really innovative with our time. We've seen a lot of businesses bloom from the situation that we found ourselves in. This was really a time for us to take a step back and really be innovative about how we are spending our time, really be intentional about how we are spending our time. So for instance, if you are a stay-at-home mom, you're working from home, your husband is also working from home, and your kids are now taking school at home, it's really important that you're able to plan out your days so that things are not overlapping with each other. And when they do overlap, what are some systems you're going to put in place in order to make that as ease-filled as possible so that your kids are not interrupting your time at work and your work isn't interrupting your kids' time? What is that process going to look like? So if you plan it out, it makes things so much easier, and then you can free up time to spend time as a family, to do the things that you love, to do self-care, all of those things. When you have an actual clear idea of what your day looks like, what your weeks look like, you're able to free up some time for you to do the things that you love. The final benefit is that it increases your capacity. When I say increase your capacity, I don't mean increase your capacity to just do all of the things and do more and more and more, but essentially it helps you have a better understanding of what your capacity is. Say you are planning your week consistently, you realize that you can only focus on 5 tasks per week. And so that if someone asks you to do an additional 6 tasks, you get to decide, do I want to add this on? Do I need to take something out, switch something out, change dates on something? Or do I simply need to say no? So that is a way that you understand your capacity, and you're able to increase your capacity to focus more on those 5 important tasks that you do have the strength and the capacity to do. And also leads to prioritizing your wellness, because you know that just because you have free time doesn't mean that you necessarily have to add another task. It means free time to pour back into yourself so that you can show up as your best self for yourself and your community as well. So I am just showing you the back end of what it looks like when I start planning. So first things first is I come to my Google Calendar. It's one of the things that is pretty consistent with my planning. I have calendars everywhere, but I usually start from my Google Calendar because it'll have things that I have set up in terms of meetings with clients or meetings for school, et cetera, et cetera. So those items are usually on my Google Calendar. So whenever I'm planning for my month, that is where I go, and it updates regularly, of course, as things start to book up throughout the month. So I come here first to take a look at my Google Calendar. So as you can see, I have other things, like this is my personal one, but also my business one is attached to that as well. If I have any workshops that is outlined, or this is a particular meeting, it just shows busy for my other calendars that I've synced. If I need to know, I can click on it and go to that calendar and figure out what the details are. But just so I know that that block of time isn't something that I'm going to be booking for my personal time. So that is how I kind of differentiate between the different aspects of things that I'm doing. Now I'm going to show you all the next thing I look at, which is my 30-day self-care planner, which I'm currently using now. If you are someone who has a lot to do and you're often overwhelmed, and this really helps you declutter your mind, set goals and systems, and of course prioritize your wellness. And so let's get right into it. This is all the details of the journal itself, but I start off with a 30-day reflection because it's really helpful for you to figure out what was working, and what are some goals that either you met or you didn't meet, so you can celebrate those goals. You can keep in mind the things that you are grateful for and write out some lessons that you learned, etc. And then some space for you to journal as well, because it is a journal. And then for folks who are more visual, you can kind of plan out what you want your month to look like, and then we get into the meat of it. So I started filling out some of it. I've actually printed out these pages and filled them in myself, which I will show you shortly. And this is the other half of the month, the other side of the page. I'm just showing you the digital side of it. From my Google Calendar, I transfer the big ticket items onto here. And then from that, you break that down into chunks of goals. So I have 3 pages here to set out your 3 main goals for the month. Looking at your big ticket items and what those things are and what things are coming up, you can figure out what your goals are for the month. And then you get into your weekly goals. And so now that you have, when you filled out your month, each week, the way that I plan my monthly is on the last Sunday of every month is when I plan the entire month. And then every Sunday is when I plan my week. And so for this week, I'm only looking at the first week of March, obviously. So that's all I'm focused on. And basically, I just take out a blank sheet of paper and I list out all the things that I am working on. I start with my school stuff because school takes the most of my time right now. So I list out all the things I have to do with school for the week. I look at all the deadlines that are coming up, and then I move on to my business, Igho initiative, and I look at if I have some client calls coming up, if I have to promote something, what does my social media content plan look like for that week, and then my personal and church work is something that I would do next. So like if I have a performance coming up, if I have a consultation call with somebody, if I have an interview, that would go on that list. And then I highlight per day, what do I have to do? And so when I highlight the things that I have to do per day, I look at all of those things I have to do per day. What are the main goals? So I list 3 goals, and then I break those goals into actual steps for that week. And then side right next to it, you can see my daily self-care. So again, having a clear picture of what my goals are per day, I'm able to craft what my self-care needs to look like. So if I have a day where I'm working on papers all day, then I know that my self-care needs to be something in terms of taking a nap or reading leisurely, taking a social media break, or taking my eyes off of the screen, because I would have been on the screen typing essays or whatever, researching all day. So that is how I make sure that my self care matches my work, and it's able to support me throughout what I am doing. So that is why it's important to have your weekly goals and your self-care side by side, so that you are able to plan out, okay, what am I doing per day, and what do I need to take care of myself each day. So that is what that is looking like. And then the final piece for your planning is your daily. And so every night I again look at my master copy in terms of my week, and then whatever I have in, like right here, if I filled out my Sunday goals, the Sunday morning is usually when I plan, or like evenings, I would come here and write up the date on Sunday. And then those goals would be my top 3 tasks. And then I would list out the goals. I write some affirmations to support me with my goals in that day. The affirmation is similar throughout the week. Sometimes I'll switch it up. And then another thing that's important to me is, I always tell you all to stay hydrated. So drinking water, I track that. And then I have a habit tracker where I list out daily habits, again, things that support with my tasks, my goals, and then I check them off at the end of the day. So this usually happens the night before, then at the end of that day. So if it was a Monday, on Sunday night, I've created my daily intentions for Monday, and then I will come back on Monday night and check that I've actually done all of my habits and shade them through. And so I know it sounds like a lot, but once you've done the monthly, that is pretty much like the last Sunday of the month when you're planning everything. It seems like a lot, but on a weekly basis, all you're really looking at is checking your calendar, your monthly calendar, to fill in your weekly goal, your self-care, and then each night you're working on your daily task for the next day. So that is pretty much it. It's nothing complicated. It's just once you get into the rhythm of things, it becomes easier, it becomes routine. Like I said, I like to make it more engaging for myself. So you can either use the digital or you can print it out. All right, that's a wrap for today. I hope that served you and you're able to take some tips from my planning process and apply it to your life. Again, I know planning can seem like this extra thing and overwhelming to begin, but I promise you, it gets easier once you get into the swing of things, and it makes your life so much easier. If you are new to the planning process, or if you want to get back into it and become more consistent, I actually created a digital planner for you. It is what I showed in a little bit of my process. It's a 30-day self-care journal and planner. It's undated. It helps you take the planning process step by step. It makes it really clear and easy for you to be able to declutter your mind and really plan out your tasks and your goals in that way. It's digital, so you can use it online. For those who are like, I'm not a writing things down person, you can use it digitally, or you can print out the pages and pop it in a little binder of your own, so it makes the process so much easier. I know even buying planners can be overwhelming sometimes, so I wanted to make the process as easy as possible. More details of the planner in the description box below. I'd also love to know, are you a part of the 3% of people that plan, or are you a 97%er? Rep your percentage in the comments below. And of course, if you just want to be a part of the tribe, all you got to do is subscribe, pull up a seat, make sure that you are staying hydrated. Say your piece in the comments below, and I'll talk to y'all real soon. Peace and love.